Hi, everyone. I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, America's #1 small business expert. And I would like to welcome you tonight to Small Biz Chat Live. For the last 9 years, I've hosted Small Biz Chat every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern live on Twitter to give small business owners peer-to-peer business advice. Our mission on Small Biz Chat is to end small business failure. Now, normally we're live on Twitter with just one guest, but every third Wednesday of the month, we go live on Facebook with 3 small business experts. So tonight, Small Biz Chat, I am broadcasting from my Small Biz Lady Facebook fan page, my YouTube channel, and you know we haven't forgotten about our fans over on Twitter. We are streaming live on Twitter as well using Periscope. Now, I've created Small Biz Chat Live to give our loyal small business audience an opportunity to see the guests, not just read all the great information that our guests have to offer. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level, I have an amazing show for you tonight. Tonight's guests are marketing expert, Mr. Duct Tape Marketing himself, Jantsch is here with us. We also have corporate sponsorship guru, Linda. Well, I'm thinking that I should talk to you guys about the history of Small Biz Chat while we are waiting for Facebook to reconnect with us. You know, we started Small Biz Chat Live on Twitter in April of 2009. And I started Small Biz Chat because when I first started using social media, I did 3 things every day. I would share a great article written about small business that would be helpful to my audience. I shared something personal about myself. At the time, my son was only like 2 years old. So I would share something like, had to act like an ape to get my son to eat a banana this morning. And then the third thing I would do was answer somebody's small business question every day. And I spent so much time looking for people with questions, I decided to create a vehicle for people with questions to find me. And that is how Small Biz Chat was born. So now Small Biz Chat has evolved. Now we're live on video doing Small Biz Chat. And so we're so excited to be doing that. And my first guest tonight is Jantsch, and he is a marketing consultant, speaker, best-selling author of the book Duct Tape Marketing. He's also written Duct Tape Selling, The Commitment Engine, and The Referral Engine. He's the founder of the Duct Tape Marketing Consultant Network, and his latest book is SEO for Growth, the ultimate guide for marketers, web designers, and entrepreneurs, and it's changing the way the world thinks about SEO. So I am so excited to have the opportunity to help you pick John's brain tonight. So John, welcome to Small Biz Chat Live.
Hey, I am so thrilled to be here. I can't believe it took 9 years for you to ask me.
Now, John, don't make me start telling tales about you. We invited you years ago, but that's okay. It's time for us to get together tonight. So I am so happy to welcome you. So with that, you have built such an incredible brand from Duct Tape Marketing, and you have just expanded your brand over the years. But sometimes you got to go back to the basics with marketing. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. Can you tell me what is the best way to attract clients?
Well, the funny thing about that is it hasn't changed. The same way really to attract clients hasn't changed at all. It is you have to have a product or service that somebody needs or wants and that solves a major problem in their life. Now, I know that sounds simple, but a lot of times we think it's all about telling the world that we do this and we're great at that and our product has all these great features. But what we have to do is figure out how to promise to solve a problem that's going on in our ideal client's life. And if we can do that, if we can connect our products and services to solving that problem, because I hate to say it, they don't want what we sell. They want their problems solved, no matter what it is that you sell. So you've got to connect your message of promising to solve their problem to what it is that you do, and then they'll start listening. But obviously, you've got to know who those people are, and you've got to hang out where they hang out so that they can hear that message. It's really not much more complicated than that.
Well, how do you determine what those problems are, right? Because I built this thing and I want to sell this thing, but how do I figure out whether people need it or not?
Yeah, and that's a tough thing because we want to sell our thing. And so the way that I tell people all the time is ask them. I mean, if you have existing clients today, you should be interviewing them about once a quarter, a couple of them, and just ask them, why do you buy from us? How'd you find us? What do we do that other people don't do? And listen intently to their answers. Now, don't let them say, well, you provide good service, because everybody provides good service, right? So you need to get them to tell you a story about a time you provided good service. And I can almost guarantee you're going to start hearing themes that address the actual problem that you solved for them. Now, another great place, if you get reviews, Google reviews, which are really important today, or if your competitors get Google reviews, check those out too, because people are saying the things that you need to know, the things that they really love about you, about your competitors, or the things that they don't like about what you do or your competitors do. So that's some great data point. Great, obviously, for social proof out there in the world, but you need that data, and you need to start thinking about how to use it. I'll give you a quick example. We have a tree service that talks all about, we've been in business for X amount of years. That's their messaging. We look on their reviews, and they all say they showed up when they said they were going to, and they clean up the job site, every time. I mean, that's the problem that they're solving. That's what you've got to look for.
Now, you mentioned social. Let's get into what role does social media now play in attracting customers online?
Well, it certainly depends. I mean, a lot of times if you're just getting started and you're just trying to find clients, I mean, that might not be an important place for you because, frankly, there's not a lot of selling that goes on there. It's what we like to refer to as top of the funnel. You create awareness there. People learn about you. They learn to like you. They learn to trust you. They learn to start checking out what you do. So that's a great place to build audience, to build brand, to build awareness, and to start gaining the trust that allows you to have a sales conversation. So it's an important place, but you have to understand where it fits in the customer journey and use it appropriately.
Now, there's so many things now going on with all these different marketing channels, and a lot of stuff is changing, right? When I first started doing Small Biz Chat, we were on Twitter. Now I'm on Facebook, streaming live on YouTube and back on Twitter. So how can a business owner keep up with all the changing marketing channels and networks?
Well, I'll one-up you. When I started marketing, we didn't have the internet. So a lot has certainly changed. But I tell you, that causes a lot of stress, and you don't need to let it. You probably don't need to keep up on every little thing that's coming. I mean, we're streaming to 8 different places today, and that may be great for your business. In fact, it is great for your business, but that doesn't mean it's great for everybody's business. Where are your customers? Where do they find companies like yours? Where do they go to get their problems solved? Stay as close to the customer as possible, and they'll tell you where you need to be spending your time and energy.
Well, I think that that's very fair. You need to figure out who your niche target customers are and where those guys spend time online. And that's where you need to be. People out here doing 4 and 5 social media platforms, unless you sell social media services, that is probably not converting for you very well.
Well, you can't go deep enough in any of them then.
Exactly. And I tell people that all the time. Now, let's talk about your website, because in my world, and I know that this is true for you too, your website is your number one sales tool. So what are the 3 things that you have to have in order to have a great website?
Yeah, there's no question. It's become the hub of a business. Even that business that does, ends up taking the order across the desk. The website is still the hub of their marketing. So a couple things have to be there. It has to work. And by that, I mean, it has to load fast. It has to look good on a mobile device. 60-70% of the people are using that to look at your website now. So it has to work in that regard. But then it also you have to think about it kind of like a journey. People need to come there and they need to see that bold promise. That needs to be there. What problem do you solve? I want to see that front and center. But then I need to see trust elements. Who else buys from you? Who else likes you? What associations do you belong to? What badges of honor have you gained? I mean, we need to see those kind of trust elements. And then the one that people miss all the time, lots of calls to action. Contact us for a free evaluation. Get this free report. It's okay to have 4 or 5 of those on your homepage because people are going to take the journey down your homepage. And you want to make sure that you are asking them to connect or asking them or giving them a reason to go deeper.
All right, now I'm going to follow up with you on that one. What about pop-up windows? One of the things that is a little bugaboo for me is I go to your website, and before I get a chance to read the thing that made me click on your website, here's this pop-up window asking me for my contact information. Yeah. Is that the right way to go, or what's going on with all these pop-ups?
Here's one of the challenges: is you ask 10 people, and 9.5 of them will tell you, "I hate pop-ups." But unfortunately, about 8 of those 10 will also say, "But they work. I filled it out. If I was on the site and they had something that was really compelling, okay, I'll take it. I'll do it." So I think you have to be very judicious about how you use them, control them. I mean, there's nothing worse than going back to a page and it pops up 5 times. Make sure you're getting that done. Make sure that if I've been to your website 3 or 4 times in the last 2 weeks, I probably don't need to see that pop up. And the technology is there. Don't be lazy with these things. Customer experience, the experience they have on your website is actually a ranking factor for Google today. They want to deliver a great experience, and how your site loads, what it does when it loads, is actually part of the ranking factors that they consider.
I completely agree with you. And one last question before we go to break. How can you really diversify the content on your website? There's a lot of people like you and I, we've been blogging for years and years and years. But if you want to switch it up, what's the best way to do that?
Well, the good news is, of the last couple of years, I've been telling people you need less content, but you need better content, and you need to think about how you're going to use that content. And by that, I mean, people need different content at different points in the journey. If they're just trying to figure out what their problem is, they need content that really addresses them and their world. But as they start moving along and think, okay, how would this solution work for me? What's it like to work with you? I mean, those are different forms of content, and you need to think about all that content for every stage of the customer journey.
That's great. That's great. Well, John, that was truly helpful. And here on Small Biz Chat, our mission is to end small business failure. And knowing how to attract customers is really, really important to business success. But when we come back, we're going to talk more with John Jantsch about building your SEO roadmap and his new book, SEO for Growth. Don't go away. We'll be right back. This is Small Biz Chat Live. Hey, small business owners, are you tired of being stressed out by your business? Would you like to take a laptop-free vacation? You want to stop feeling like your business is running you? I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, and I want to invite you to my 3-day intensive, January 18th through the 20th in Tampa, Florida. Using my proven methods, you're going to be armed to double your business revenues in 2019 and build a business that will allow you to live your dream life. We're going to drill down on people, profits, and prospects. You'll leave my Small Biz Lady intensive with proper HR systems, a full grasp of your money and profits, and a winning sales process that delivers results. Don't miss out. Only 50 people will have the chance to attend this event. Early bird registration ends November 1st. Sessions will begin at 9 a.m. daily and go until 11 p.m. I won't stop teaching until you have a plan to fix your business. All right, everybody, we're waiting for the Facebook feed to come back, but we want you to know that you're watching Small Biz Chat Live, and I'm Melinda Emerson, and I'm here tonight with John Jantsch, Linda Hollander, Burton, Kelso. We have an amazing show for you tonight, talking about marketing, SEO, getting corporate sponsorships, and building up YouTube. So your brand on YouTube. So we have an amazing, amazing show that we're going to be having for you tonight. All right, so welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, and I'm here with John Jantsch, Mr. Duct Tape Marketing himself, and it's time to talk about SEO. All right, John. Now listen, when it comes to turning your website into a cash machine, you really do have to understand SEO, but it's such a black hole for people. And so many people have been swindled by all kinds of so-called SEO purveyors. Can you just explain to us SEO and then just talk to us about how to build that SEO roadmap?
And I've got like 2 minutes, right, for that? Well, here's the thing. a lot of people, and maybe it is SEO people, have actually maybe made it seem a lot more complicated than it is. I mean, the thing is, you have to remember, Google's never changed what their objective is. Their objective is, if you turn to a search engine, type in a search term, they're going to return the results that they think are going to be the most useful, most accurate to you. That's never changed. Now, how they get to that is the only thing that's changed. And that's the part that a lot of SEO folks have kind of gamed. So what you have to understand is that search engine optimization is such a crucial strategic part of marketing today that you have to think about it when you develop your marketing strategy. As you design your website, as you think about your content, you have to have an SEO strategy in mind. And all that suggests is that you have to be producing content and displaying and amplifying content that solves the problem that your ideal client is looking to get solved. It's not really much more complicated than that. I mean, we can get into some technical things, but that's where you have to start. It's all about content and website design that goes into an SEO strategy.
All right. So let's say I understand that. How do I build my SEO roadmap?
Well, it really starts with content today, because again, that is it. And so if you are, let's say you are an accounting service, then people aren't necessarily, there certainly are people that are out there saying, I need an accounting service, I need my taxes done. But there's also a lot of business owners that are out there saying, how do I manage my books? How do I get, myself to make more profit? I mean, they're asking questions to do with finance. So if you're in that accounting service, you should be designing your content around creating something like the ultimate guide to outsourced accounting. And that, that would contain 8 or 10 blog posts maybe that would actually give somebody a real roadmap about their world when it came to accounting. And that's going to lead them. Well, first off, that's going to be useful. They're going to share that. Google's going to reward you for that. And that's how you generate traffic with search engine optimization. It all starts with content.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So now I know this. I had someone tell me that blog posts are nothing more than a dress for your keywords. So tell me, if keywords are essential for SEO work, how often should small business owners change and update their keywords?
Well, that's one of the challenges. That's one of those things that was kind of old school SEO. Now, when I talk about keywords and keyword research, all I want to know is, what are the terms people are searching? In what volume, in what ways are they saying them, in what related ways are they saying them? And I want to make sure that I'm at least addressing the intent they have with those searches in my content. It's not so much about keywords. The search engines have changed now to be much more about behavior and intent. And so they're rewarding companies not for shoving keywords in their blog posts, but for producing this kind of useful, guide type of material that does happen to have, the window dressing of some of the keywords. But it's not about changing, updating, and scamming the system. It's all about producing useful content that does address what they're searching for.
Okay. Well, if somebody is getting started with investing in SEO, how much should they really plan from a budget standpoint to invest in SEO, like per month?
Yeah, well, it's tough because you should never, in my opinion, you should rarely buy SEO services as a separate service. You should really be working with somebody that is building it into your marketing strategy. And that doesn't mean that they can't have an expertise in that, but SEO, you can't build a website, do some content, and then SEO it. It doesn't work that way. It all has to really be done as an overarching marketing strategy. And so there's no way to really give a cost to that. But, certainly if you're producing content and you need to then optimize that content, that should be part of the process. There are people that pay, $500 to $5,000, just for that. But it includes creating content, getting backlinks, networking, working on the structure of the website. So it's tough to put a figure on it.
So you're saying that whoever's building your website should have that SEO capability?
Either that, or you should be working with a consultant who is orchestrating, all of those components.
Okay. Well, you know what? That is excellent advice. That's actually educating me about something I didn't even know. Well, listen.
You call me. We'll work it out for you.
I appreciate that. And you've written this great book called SEO for Growth. So we want everyone to go out and grab a copy of his latest book, because it's going to give you even more in-depth advice on building a website that you can turn into a cha-ching cash register. So that's really what we want to do. Now, up next, we're going to be talking with Linda Hollander, and she's going to be helping us learn about how to attract corporate sponsorship for your small business. This is Melinda Emerson, and this is Small Biz Chat Live, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady. I know you might be thinking about quitting your business and going back into corporate America, but wait, before you give up, my new book, Fix Your Business, could give you a whole new lease on life. My 12 P's of running a successful business will walk you through step by step how to grow your business revenue, how to hire great people and streamline your processes, and so much more. Grab a copy today of Fix Your Business and get your life back.
Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady. Normally we're live on Twitter every Wednesday night, but every third Wednesday of the month, we broadcast live from my Facebook fan page, my YouTube channel, and we're also live on Twitter with Periscope. Now listen, you know that I love it when you guys leave us comments. Tell me if this show just answered a question for you. Is there a question you have? Because we can always invite our guests back to give you even more. But if you don't tell me if it's working for you, I have no idea. So I want to make sure that you give us the information so that we can make sure that Small Biz Chat and Small Biz Chat Live are working for you. Now, I want to make sure that you're getting what you need when it comes to corporate sponsorships. And that's why I invited my next guest, Linda Hollander. When I first met her, she used to go by the Wealthy Bag Lady, but now she the sponsor concierge, right? So now she's fancy, right? So I'm so excited to have Linda here with us tonight because she is an expert on corporate sponsorships. And as the sponsor concierge, she helps businesses from nonprofits to businesses get corporate sponsorship. She has over 20 years of experience, and she has gotten sponsorships from everybody, from brands that you know: Microsoft, Citibank, FedEx, Bank of America, American Airlines, Staples, Walmart, IBM, you name it. This lady has gotten a check from them. So we need to listen to her because she knows what it takes to attract corporate sponsorships to your brand. So Linda, welcome to Small Biz Chat Live.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Now listen, when it comes to getting sponsorships, how do you identify potential sponsors for your brand?
Okay, well, the definition of corporate sponsorship is connecting a company to people who buy things. So that's how you identify your sponsors. It's all about your demographics. It's all about your audience. And I always say that demographics are your destiny with sponsors. So say somebody like you has an audience of entrepreneurs. Companies that would be good sponsors for you are banks, office supply retail, shipping, telecommunications. Think of the daily lifestyle of your audience and your demographics. They get in a car, they brush their teeth, they wash their hair. So there's personal care products too, food, beverage, all kinds of companies could be your sponsors, but it's all about your audience.
I love it. I love it. And I have had the opportunity to be, to attract corporate sponsors to my brand for about the last 9 years. So I know that you know what you're talking about. So tell me, what are sponsors looking for? I think we always focus too much on what we want from a sponsor versus what do the sponsors want from us?
The sponsors want you to give them visibility, number one. So that's what you do on your show. You give them visibility. You do all kinds of things to engage people with the brand. You can do award presentations for your sponsor. You can promote them on your social media. You can promote them through video. All of the touch points that you have with your audience, such as things like this, Facebook Live, podcasts, all those channels that you use, including old school email marketing, can promote your sponsors. And For instance, I have a client who sends out an e-zine, and on the bottom of the e-zine, she puts her sponsor logo and a hyperlink to that sponsor company. Another client of mine does blogging, and the sponsor pays her to mention their company on a blog.
I love it. I love it. I love to get money from sponsors any way they want to give it to me. So I love it. So now let's talk about what is the biggest mistakes that most people make when they're pursuing sponsorships.
One mistake that people make that is huge, absolutely huge, is pricing too low, not knowing your worth with sponsors. For instance, I get a lot of people sending me proposals and they're asking for $250 for a sponsorship. Well, let me tell you a couple things about sponsorship. First of all, sponsorship is a team sport, meaning that person in the company who likes you, who is your champion, has to check with their boss, has to check with their team, has to check with their colleagues. Is it worth their time if you're asking for $250? Absolutely not. So you have to establish your value from the beginning. And we like to start sponsorships at $10,000 because then sponsors know it's worth their time. You're delivering something of value to them. And you know, in the sponsorship game, you can't double and triple your fees every year. So you kind of want to start at a certain level. And when I first started getting sponsors, wow, 18 years ago, I started at 5 and 6 figures.
Well, there you have it, folks. She told you, don't sell yourself short. Ask for the big money up front. So now, what is the best way to approach a prospective sponsor?
Sponsors like you to introduce yourself by email. They don't really want to be surprised by a phone call. And now if they see a phone number that they don't recognize, they may not answer it and it may go directly to voicemail. So they want you to introduce yourself by email. And, you know, we think of it as a campaign. Send them a couple of emails. Your first email may not get a response, but if you send a few emails, then follow it up with a phone call, that is the best way to go. And then when you send your email to your sponsor, sometimes we want you to do what's called attaching your proposal or your quick fact sheet. So you have a short description and a snapshot of what you do so the sponsor can look it over and then start a conversation and a dialogue that leads to a deal.
Awesome, awesome. Now, what about LinkedIn? Can you hit them up on LinkedIn if you don't necessarily have their email address? Can you find them on LinkedIn? Is that okay?
Yeah, LinkedIn we found is the best social media platform for connecting with your sponsors. So if you like a certain company, go to their LinkedIn, and here's what people ask me all the time. Who do I go to in that company for sponsorship? So I'll tell you a real quick story about FedEx. Do I have time for a story?
Absolutely.
Okay, so FedEx, I knew absolutely nobody at FedEx, and I wanted FedEx as a sponsor. So basically, I searched and I found the person who does marketing. So if you're taking notes, write down the marketing department. You know, I had to be passed around to a couple of people, but eventually I got to the guy who could greenlight a sponsorship, and he was in the marketing department. We had a few conversations. He liked me. He liked what we did. And what happened was I got a multi-year contract with FedEx. And this was when I was just starting out. I really didn't have a track record or anything. So one of the myths about sponsorship is you need a whole lot of experience and a big following, because I had neither. And the renewals, you mentioned cash machine earlier. In sponsorship, renewals are your cash machine, because if a sponsor likes you, they give you money this year, the next year, and then the next year. And that is a game changer.
I'm taking notes. That's awesome. All right. Now, tell me, how can you best determine the benefits for the sponsor? Like when you're putting together your sponsorship package that you want to email, you always have to highlight what's in it for them. So how do you best determine that?
Well, the first way is to ask them. As John said earlier, you want to ask them what they want as benefits. But, you know, if you haven't talked to the company yet, you don't really know them, here's some benefits that are universal. Tell that sponsor that you're going to educate people about their products and their services. You're going to help them increase loyalty to the brand. You're going to help them grow the customer base. And lastly, and this is probably the most important, you're going to help them drive sales, because that's really what sponsorship is all about. It is a marketing expense, and they want you to help them drive sales to the company.
Listen, Linda, you are giving us so many good nuggets tonight. So I want to hold you right there. And all of us know that it's important to listen to and understand corporate sponsorships, because that's just extra money on top of ticket sales. So listen, when we come back on Small Biz Chat Live, we're going to be talking about what to put in that all-important sponsor package. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Small Biz Chat Live.
My new book, Fix Your Business, is really about encouraging people to take back control of their business and change how their businesses is run. It's not okay to skip paychecks. It's not okay to never feel like you can take a vacation. And it's also not okay to not know how much profit you've made in your business until your taxes are done. I really want business owners to stop letting their businesses be runaway trains. I've written this book to teach people processes and systems to help them run their businesses intentionally. My goal is to help existing entrepreneurs create a business that allows them to live their dream life.
Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and it is time to talk more about corporate sponsorships. And I've got more questions, but we got a question live from my audience. Tracy wants to know if what you're talking about related to corporate sponsorships is the same if you're trying to become a brand ambassador or like an influencer. Linda, can you answer that?
Absolutely. And influencers are some of the hottest people now getting corporate sponsors. And now it's corporate sponsorship is sort of democratized. Any of us can do it if we build up our following. One of the best brand ambassadors that I absolutely love, because I am the original crazy cat lady, is Grumpy Cat. And if a cat can get sponsorships, we can all get sponsorship. So Grumpy Cat has been sponsored by Friskies and by Cheerios cereal. Grumpy Cat has over 300 million followers, and he has a net worth of over $100 million. So yes, brand ambassadors is a kind of the same as a sponsorship. Just remember that you get paid. So that's the difference with sponsorship, is you're a brand ambassador or an influencer who gets paid by a sponsor.
Exactly. And I've had the opportunity to be both, be corporate sponsored for some of my events, as well as being a brand ambassador and an influencer and really a national spokesperson for brands. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So Linda, let's get back to, how do I use research to strengthen my sponsorship proposal? How can I do that?
Okay. Well, when I first started getting sponsors, I kind of wanted to do the same thing that you're doing. I wanted to do a women's small business expo because I had 2 failed businesses. And when I finally figured it out how to do the right business, I got out of the poverty trap. And more importantly, I got out of an abusive relationship, and I wanted to show other women how to create their own multi-million-dollar business like you do. So I did research on the market of women business owners. This is how research can help you. You can sell sponsors on the concept if you are just starting out. So I found that women are starting businesses at twice the rate of men, that women in America spend more than 5 countries combined, and that women make or influence over 85% of the purchasing decisions in America. And that's how I got my first sponsors, which were Bank of America, Walmart, and IBM. I just had an idea in my head. I'm this short little frizzy haired Jewish girl in the kitchen with her cat. And I sold those sponsors because I took the time to do research on the demographics.
All right, Linda. Now, if we're ready to send our sponsorship packet, is it important to make contact by phone or by email before we send over a sponsorship packet?
I would do that. I would send an email, but here's where I want to give you some advice. I want you to send on your very first email, I want you to attach not the full sponsor proposal, but attach what we call a quick fact sheet. It's also known as the proposal brief. It has no pricing on it, no sponsor fees, but it has a great snapshot of what you do. And remember, the most compelling benefits for your sponsors. In other words, when you are pitching the sponsors, make that sponsor the star. It's not about you, it is about them. And I think you'll agree that's how to do successful sponsorships.
Without question, without question. Now, when it comes to time to send the actual sponsor package, what goes in that packet?
Okay, so what you want to have there is a description of what you do. You want to have your benefits. You want to have your marketing plan. Because you can include sponsors in your marketing plan. How are you going to get the word out about what you do? Are you going to do forums like this? Are you going to do email, video? Are you going to do social media? Are you going to do traditional advertising? Let that sponsor know. If you have testimonials, put those in your sponsor proposal. And lastly, this is so important, and this is how we help people do sponsors in a different way than everybody else, storytelling. You want to tell your story. You want to tell, maybe if you're not comfortable telling your story, tell a story of somebody that you've helped through the work that you do, because we are all in different businesses, but we are all in the life-changing business. I put in my sponsor proposal that I was in the poverty trap. I put in my sponsor proposal that I was in an abusive relationship. You want to show your humanity and make an emotional connection, because a company is not going to sponsor you. It is a human being in that company that's going to decide to sponsor you.
That's really interesting. I really wouldn't have thought that it's important to share more personal information. Now, you mentioned earlier about you had the opportunity to get FedEx to sponsor you 2 or 3 years in a row. How can we all do that? I mean, because I don't have multi-year sponsorship. So how do you go about doing that?
It's all about relationships, because what I did with FedEx, and I could tell you even American Airlines, who I had as a sponsor. So I did an interview like this, and it was at a radio studio. I came back. I had typed her an email that said, hey, American Airlines, I just mentioned you on a radio station that gets 75,000 listeners. And she typed me back, oh, thank you so much. So it's about the relationship. It's about talking to that sponsor, constantly keeping that sponsor in the loop of what you are doing for them. Another way to get the renewals is to send them a renewal report. And I recommend sending them a report at least quarterly, and then calling them and going over that report. Remember, conversations. You want to have conversations with your sponsor, because really conversations produce relationships and rapport and the renewals.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for all of that helpful advice about how to attract and keep corporate sponsors to level up your small business. Up next, we're going to be talking with Burton Kelso about how to leverage YouTube to grow your business. And we'll be right back. This is Small Biz Chat Live. Stay with us.
Are you tired of struggling in your business, not taking a paycheck? Dreading dealing with your business in the morning? Are you regretting even starting your business in the first place? Well, I know you're tired, and I also remember what that kind of tired is like. But the good news is, it's time to stop feeling that way. Stop! I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, and my new book, Fix Your Business, is a 90-day turnaround plan to get back your life and reduce chaos in your business. I've been in business nearly 20 years, and let me teach you how to build a business that works for you. Grab a copy today.
Jump in and do it, Linda.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, and we are back with Small Biz Chat Live. And our next guest is Burton Kelso. Burton is the Chief Technology Officer at Integral, and he is a frequent TV tech expert. His vision is to remove frustrations and complexity of computers and technology and YouTube and all that good stuff. He loves technology and helping people get the most out of their digital lives. Burton, welcome to Small Biz Chat Live.
Hey, Melinda, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, if you're just getting started with trying to build your brand on YouTube, what should you do first?
Well, first, you need to make sure that you craft your YouTube channel so that people understand what content that you're sharing on YouTube. It's important that you customize your banner on YouTube so it reflects the information that you're sharing. You also want to make sure that your banner is consistent with you're doing on other social media channels such as Facebook and LinkedIn. So you want to make sure that your picture is consistent, want to make sure that banner is consistent, and you want to send a clear cut signal what information that you're sharing on your YouTube channel so that subscribers will understand what kind of content they're going to get. Also, you want to make sure that your YouTube channel has the proper tags or branding and keywords so that people will be attracted to your channel.
Now, what can you do to stay relevant on YouTube? I know people that have had YouTube channels out there for forever, and they're like, YouTube has changed a little bit of this and changed a little bit of that.
Right.
And they're now getting lost in the sauce here. So what can a small business do to stay relevant on YouTube?
And I think this is the key ingredient that we've been talking about tonight. You've got to connect with people with your YouTube channel. It's one thing to share information, but you've got to include some of those personal stories or some of those struggles that you've encountered when you're posting videos to your YouTube channel. When you share that personal story, it helps build up that connection with your subscribers and people that are just casually viewing your channel. Also, you've got to be able to solve problems to the people that they have. They really don't care about your business or your channel. What they care about are their problems. And if you're a person that's able to solve those problems, you're going to become a YouTube hero.
Awesome. Now, how can you engage with your audience on YouTube? I know that YouTube kind of controls how you can contact people that subscribe to your channel, but how can you build up engagement? Because there's people that are doing it. So can you give us some advice about that?
Yeah, definitely. With YouTube, you don't want to just concentrate on YouTube. You want to be able to share your videos to other social media platforms. So your YouTube videos should be on YouTube, but they also need to go out on Facebook and even LinkedIn. LinkedIn has live video. So why not share those videos on LinkedIn? And also when you're sharing your videos to other social media platforms, put a link and let people know that you do have a YouTube channel and that they can subscribe to your channel and view the wonderful content that you have on that channel.
I love it. Now, I know that how-to videos are the #1 search thing on YouTube. Now, what's our rule of thumb about how-to videos? What's the length of, now I'm a former television producer, so I know the answer to this, but I want to ask you, how long should these videos be if you're going to do a how-to video series?
Your how-to videos should be anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. You can do a maximum of 15 minutes with a how-to video, but you want to be able to create a video that's quick, informative, engaging, and educational. Once you create videos like that, people will gravitate to your channel, and anytime they have a problem that they need solved, they are going to come to you and look to see how you're going to solve that problem.
Now, Burton, I almost fell out of my chair when you said 7 to 10 minutes.
Why?
Because I teach people 2 minutes or less. Less is more.
It depends on the how-to video. If you're
giving corporations sell you something in 30 seconds, why do you need 10 minutes to teach me anything, sir? Stop it. Okay, stop it. All right, now listen. That
is a good length, but if you're going more for the engagement, the longer the video, the better.
Yeah, whatever. I'm telling you 2 minutes or less. Okay.
All right.
I know what I'm talking about. All right. Now listen, should you give away your best advice and expertise in your YouTube videos?
I think so, because it makes you the brand authority as far as that's concerned. If you're giving away your best advice, the people are going to look to you as the authority. I don't think that your business is going to suffer if you give away the shop or give away the cow. The more information that you can share to your subscribers, the better off you're going to be, and it's going to help increase your subscribers, and it's going to help increase your business as well.
I completely agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, YouTube has had several changes this year. Can you talk a little bit about the changes that YouTube has had?
Yes, YouTube has changed its algorithm. So number one, the videos that used to appear in your YouTube feed were from the channels that you subscribe to. But now YouTube has gone more to more of a search and feeding out videos that viewers want to watch. So rather than seeing the videos that you subscribe to first, YouTube is feeding videos that they think that you want to see. And it's upset a lot of people who have a large following with subscribers on YouTube.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, I have to tell you, my 12-year-old son and I, he goes into my YouTube, so now I'm starting to get videos of video game walkthroughs and stuff that I don't want to see. So I need to talk to somebody at Google or YouTube about how to stop sending me stuff like that. Anyway, listen, you have a pretty snazzy setup there. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about if somebody wanted to build a home studio so they could record more YouTube videos. Can you give us some of the basic equipment that they should have?
Yeah, but the first thing that I want to hit, though, is if you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel, just hit the button and start recording. I mean, it's good to have a nice setup as far as the studio is concerned, but the main thing is just start recording those videos. You can do them on daily walks. You can do them anywhere. And that's the fun of YouTube. And once you get into the habit of recording videos with the smartphone, then you can move up and start using a computer. You want to make sure Windows or Mac, you get something that has an Intel i5 or i7 processor with 16 gigabytes of RAM. And obviously, if you're going to stream on YouTube, fast internet is an essential ingredient to have.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks. Burton, Kelso, he gave us everything we need to know about how to become a YouTube superstar. So what he said was get out there and just hit that record button and start recording. My favorite device to record with online is actually Zoom. I really love Zoom, and it's really cool to use. So check it out. But listen, I have really enjoyed learning from you, and I don't want anybody to go away because all of our guests are about to come back for a quick panel so that we can discuss what we call hit it and quit it. So listen, we're going to be right back in 2 seconds, and we're going to have all of our panelists back, Linda, John, and Burton, and we're going to be talking about some stuff they're not quite, maybe not so ready to answer, but you're going to love it. Stay with us. Hey, small business owners, are you tired of being stressed out by your business? Would you like to take a laptop-free vacation? You want to stop feeling like your business is running you? I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, and I want to invite you to my 3-day intensive, January 18th to the 20th in Tampa, Florida. Using my proven methods, you're going to be armed to double your business revenues in 2019 and build a business that will allow you to live your dream life. We're going to drill down on people, profits, and prospects. You'll leave my Small Biz Lady intensive with proper HR systems, a full grasp of your money and profits, and a winning sales process that delivers results. Don't miss out. Only 50 people will have the chance to attend this event. Early bird registration ends November 1st. Sessions will begin at 9 a.m. daily and go until 11 p.m. I won't stop teaching until you have a plan to fix your business. Welcome back, everybody, to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm Melinda Emerson. We've brought back all 3 of tonight's guests for our Hit It or Quit It segment. They will each answer the same basic question, but there's a catch. They only have 30 seconds to answer, and they cannot repeat somebody else's answer, or we're going to give them the hook, all right? So let me welcome back Linda Hollander, John Jantsch, and Burton Kelso. All right, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Ready?
Linda, this first question is coming to you. All right, 30 seconds on our clock, please. Linda, what is your best old school marketing tip?
My best old school marketing tip is that traditional media is not dead. A lot of people say, oh, I'm doing social, I'm doing email marketing, I'm doing all the digital platforms. Remember, when you're trying to get sponsors, Concentrate on traditional also. Television, radio, print. It is not dead, and definitely take advantage because they are giving you deals like never before.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, John, you're next. What do you got for me? Your best old school marketing tip?
Well, I call mine the Friday Five. And what I mean by that is that some of the best opportunity to get more business is to contact your existing clients. So often we wait for them to call us. Well, every Friday, pick 5 existing clients, call them up. Don't try to sell them anything. Just see how their life's going, what's happening, anything you can do for them. You will be amazed at how often that will turn into some new business from existing clients.
I love it. I love it. All right, Burton, I'm coming to you. What is your best old school marketing tip?
Snail mail is not dead. It does not hurt you to send out a card to your existing customer base and let them know how you feel. If it's a wedding anniversary or a birthday or even a sympathy card, get that stamp and send out a card. It means a lot to your existing customer base and it shows that you really care.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And I'm going to give you guys my favorite old school marketing tip. And it's very similar to that. Is I'm a big fan of picking out a holiday that's an off holiday and contacting your customers. Like in my business, we don't send holiday cards. We send Valentine's cards because we love our customers. So that is my favorite old school marketing tip that I wanted to share. Now, John, you're next. I'm coming to you. What is your best strategy for attracting leads? Best one.
Well, today it's content. If you can write useful content, valuable content, you're going to have to spend some time on this. Create something that people want, that attracts them, that they want to share. Then take that to Facebook, run $100 a month worth of ads, and attract traffic to that content. Now, here's the catch, though. You also need to have a content upgrade. And by that, I mean, if you run the 27 ways to do XYZ, have a checklist that goes with that. And for that checklist, to get that checklist, they have to give you their email address and then create a series of emails to follow up. And you can literally turn that into a lead machine.
I love it. I love it. All right, Burton, I'm coming to you. What is your favorite, best way to attract leads to your business?
Good old-fashioned networking. FaceTime is a good thing to do. And so you get out and beat the streets and start attending networking groups or starting having one-on-ones, you start to develop that relationship. You cultivate that relationship and you plant the seeds of what you can do to help people out. And once you start to grow that garden, it's going to start to produce the fruits of your labor as a new business and new customers and hopefully referrals from those customers.
I love it. I love it. Sometimes you got to take it back to the street. You got to get out here and network. All right, Miss Linda, what do you got for me? What is your best strategy for attracting leads?
The free strategy session. I get a lot of leads by offering a free strategy session right on my website, right on my emails, on my e-zines. It all says, click here for a free strategy session. I don't get it. So many people on their website have no way to contact them, or they have those contact forms. The media will not fill out a contact form. Sponsors will not fill out a contact form. Make yourself accessible to people and you will collect a lot of amazing leads.
That is a good one, Linda. I love it. I love it. And my best strategy for attracting leads is just make an irresistible free offer on your website. When people come to your website, give them something amazing away for free. And that is the best way. I have built my humongous email list just from giving away free checklists and things on my website. And that is what I have done. All right, Burton, I'm coming to you first with this next one. When you set your eye out for a top business target, what is the best way to get in front of them?
Public speaking, I think, would be the best way. If you can go out to different events and showcase that you are the expert of whatever your business does and whatever problems your business can solve, that is a good way to get people to embrace your business like you and trust you enough to do business with you.
I love it. I love it. All right, John, what do you got for me? When you set out for a top business target, what's the best way to get in front of them?
Well, I like to develop strategic partnerships. If somebody else already has that audience, and you can create something that would be valuable for their audience, it would also make them look good to their audience, and you reach out to them. So it might be an ebook, it might be a webinar, it might be some expertise that you can share. You go to that strategic partner and say, look, I'm going to let you co-sponsor this. I'm going to let you co-host this event. We're going to put it out. We're going to share it with your audience. And all of a sudden, you're referred to their entire customer base.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, Linda, what do you got? If you want a target, nobody, what do you do?
I am a big fan of events, whether it's a live event, whether it's a virtual event like this one. Create your own event. If you're a speaker, every time you speak, that is considered an event. And it's a whole lot easier to do now than ever before. So that is my favorite way.
Awesome, awesome. All right, you guys, I want each of you to think about one personal motivation tip. Burton, I'm going to come to you first. Share one personal motivation tip that you have.
The grind never stops. If you're a small business owner, you've got to keep grinding every day. There's no finish line. So you've got to get out, you've got to hustle, and you have to realize if you want to stay in business, you've got to keep moving forward every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Linda, what do you got? Give me one good motivational tip.
Okay, I got this tip from Sarah Blakely of Spanx, and I feel like the woman on the panel I got to represent. Spanx are amazing. They make you one size smaller, and now they have them for men. Sarah Blakely is the youngest female billionaire in the U.S., and she said it's all about sales. When she was starting, she didn't do a fancy packaging. She just put her product in her old backpack from college, and she really didn't spend a lot of money on it until she started making sales. So that's my best tip, that it's all about sales.
All right, John, give me one motivational tip that you have.
Sure, of course, I'm going to go to a marketing motivational tip that every small business owner needs to remember this and think this, that the best and most potent source of lead generation is a happy customer. Make those customers happy, and you're going to have all the leads you can stand.
I love it. I love it. And here's one that I want to share as well. Some days in business, you are the chicken, and some days you are the chicken salad, but it is okay. You can always hit the reset button. Don't be so hard on yourself. Brush your shoulders off and keep going. All right. Last question, Linda. What is your best business book you've ever read?
It is called A Woman of Substance by Barbara Taylor Bradford. Everybody who's ever been to London goes to a store called Harrods, and it is a fictional story about the woman who started it. And it is a great account of how to go from being a servant in a household to a multi-billionaire. So I love that book, and it is a novel. It's not a nonfiction. So you can also read novels to get business advice.
I love it. All right, Burton, what's your favorite business book?
My favorite business book is Good to Great. You have a good business, but this book will take your business to the next level. Teaches you that your business is not just about you. It's about your complete brand and how you express that brand to the people that you want to connect with. So I recommend this to anyone who wants to take their business to the next level.
All right, John, what's your favorite business book?
I've probably read up to 1,000 books. So I'm not going to say this is my favorite business book, but I will say that it's the one that had the most impact on my brand and my business. And it's called The Practice of Management by Peter Drucker. And I think he was probably one of the first people that kind of boiled down, even for the small business, that, marketing is a system, your business is a system, and that you have to think about it in that fashion and build systems and processes to run your business.
Awesome, awesome. And one of my favorite business books is Duct Tape Marketing by Jantsch. So I had to give you some love, John. I always say the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, but in honor of you finally being on Small Biz Chat, I had to give you the love because I did read your book years ago, and it did help me in my business. Now, listen, I want to thank my three guests, Linda Hollander, the sponsor concierge, Burton Kelso, Mr. YouTube himself, and how could I forget John Jantsch, Mr. Duct Tape Marketing. Thank you guys so much. It was so wonderful to have all of you on our show. And thank you all for joining us on Small Biz Chat tonight. Next week, Wednesday, September 26th, we will be back live on Twitter at 8 p.m. with Lori Hildebrand. And she's going to be talking about how to get the exact quote to quit your corporate job and build a business and a life that you love. Do not miss it. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and the mission of Small Biz Chat is to end small business failure. I want to leave you with this. You never lose in business. Either you win or you learn. We'll see you next time.